This story might not be suitable for younger listeners. Audio discretion is advised. Cinderella by Gary Hoff. Cinderella was a pretty young girl. No, I didn't mean she was pretty, I just said she was fairly young. She lived with her stepsisters in a very large house. Her dad had died some years ago. Drink and do terrible things. No, he wasn't an alcoholic. He was crossing a road when he got hit by a SA Brewery's truck, so it was quite literally the drink that killed him. Cinderella had to do everything for the ugly sisters. She had to clean the house from top to bottom. Her sisters were so lazy they wouldn't even get up to use the bathroom. They would just sit there and do whatever they needed to do, and Cinderella had to clean it. Hence the expression, "I am so tired of this shit," or "this really pisses me off." Cinderella also had to eat in the kitchen. She wasn't given any plates or cutlery, so she had to eat off the kitchen floor. Luckily, the sisters never came in there, so the kitchen was always clean. Because she had to eat off the floor, came the expression, "This floor is so clean, you can eat off it." One night, Cinderella was sitting in the kitchen. She was feeling very upset. She heard via the grapevine that the famous Gary G was doing a gig for the Handsome Prince's Ball. And she also wanted to see the Handsome Prince's Ball, or both of them if she was lucky. Cinderella was sitting there having a pity party, because it was the only party she ever had. She was feeling sorry for herself. Sorry for herself for the doll that she had since she was a little girl. She doesn't know why she called the doll sorry for herself, but she was feeling sorry for herself because she had very perverted thoughts. Anyway, to cut a very short story long, while she was sitting there feeling sorry for herself, her fairy godmother appeared.
"Cindy, what is the matter, my goddamn child?"
said the fairy godmother. "Oh, fairy godmother," said Cinderella, "I also want to go to the Handsome Prince's Ball, and I also want to see Gary G in action. I feel so down."
"Well, you won't feel down if you sit in the chair. Get up off the floor, you stupid girl,"
said the fairy godmother.
"I'll make a plan for you to go to the ball, don't worry."
So she turned 6 white mice into a huge carriage. Yes, they were white, they were born that way, and I'm not discriminating here. And frankly, they were out of work. She also spelled a pumpkin to turn into a diaphragm. She said to Cinderella to be back at 12 o'clock, or else there would be problems. At the ball, Cinderella was having a grand time. The place was rocking, and so was she, because she was getting a little bit pissed. She was drinking beer, wine, brandy, whiskey, rum, and, well, everything else because it was an open bar. The handsome prince spotted Cinderella enjoying herself and said to himself, "Oh, this one will be easy to take advantage of." Gary G had told the handsome prince about the G-spot, hence the name Gary G, and the prince wanted to see if he could find the G-spot. He approached Cinderella and made a quiet request. They went off to a quiet room somewhere. Not long after that, the clock struck 12. Cinderella was overheard by somebody passing the room saying, "Oh God, oh, it's so big, it hurts." The handsome prince that had just stepped aside for a minute to freshen up was overheard saying, "Don't worry, Cindy, I'm coming." Cinderella only walked into the kitchen at 7 o'clock in the morning. The fairy godmother was livid.
"Why are you so late? I spelled that diaphragm to turn back into a pumpkin at 12 o'clock. What happened?"
"Oh," said Cinderella, "the handsome prince, Peter, took care of it."
"Peter? Is that his name?"
"Yes," said Cinderella, Peter, pumpkin eater." The next day, the handsome prince went to every house to try the glass slipper on every girl's foot that he could find. It didn't match. He came to Cinderella's house. He wanted to try the glass slipper on the ugly sisters' feet, but their feet stank too much. Also, they had this really weird habit of wanting to suck each other's toes, and the prince didn't want an outbreak of foot and mouth disease. Then the prince walked into the kitchen, and there was Cinderella. She didn't look too good. Her feet were swollen. Well, from dancing and keeping her legs in the air for half the night, and being a big girl, well, at 300 kilograms, that just being a left leg, what more can I say? Her feet were swollen. Cinderella was hungover. She hung over the sink, getting rid of all the alcohol she'd consumed the night before. The prince looked at the sight and said, "Ooh, this girl is the one for me." They were married the very next day. The prince lived his life in fucking luxury, because that's all he wanted, fucking and luxuries. Cinderella made it clear to the prince that she only liked it now and again, and again, and again. Cinderella was very happy, because at last she'd found true happiness. The prince had promised her, "I'll give you real happiness." And they lived happily ever after.